Hi, my name is Vicky Gkiza, and I'm come here from Skype. So thank you all for being here. I, for one, am super excited being here, not only because of the chance to meet some amazing people, but also because the topic that we'll talk about is really important for me, and is something I feel very passionate about. How to make users happy, how to create customer satisfaction using technology. That has been at the core of my passion for being a product manager from the very beginning. And I think that many of you, if not all of you in this room, would associate with this as being a drive behind what you do every day. So let's get started. Arira right now, we feel that is very special. It's very different, because if you think about it, not that long ago, when a customer wanted to contact a business, they would either drive around, if that was possible. They would email the business. In some cases, they would even write letters. In the best case scenario, you would call and go through a series of automated services, and somewhere offshore, somebody might be able to help you. We've all done that, so it's not that long ago. At the same time, the businesses were actually spending a lot of time and effort and money in creating solutions that could help the customers meet their needs. They would hire teams offshore, they would hire teams onshore, they would try to automate services, they would write down things manually, and they would try to manually create patterns and understand how people are actually using the service and what they need from the service in order to be able to succeed in their goals. Now it's different. Now with technology, with social, and with intelligence, the expectations are very, very different. And it's time for the companies to also adapt to those expectations in order to meet users' needs. But not everything has changed. Like the needs of the customer and the wants of the business are exactly the same. And they have been the same for a while now. So I'll just pick a couple of points here. Customers, they want to be heard, right? People lost their lives over the years in an effort to be able to speak freely, to say what they want, to be heard, and to be understood. People want to save money. Everybody has money problems. The social worker around the corners wants to save money. Warren Buffett wants to save money. Everybody wants to save money. And they want to feel valued. Nobody wants to feel less of what they are or what their potential could be. On the other side, businesses have the same wants as well. They're seeking for audience reach. Try to reach as much as wide of an audience as possible in a large scale, hopefully automated. Being able to understand their users, gain insights, understand what they want to do, how they want to do it, and as a result, create the right products that not only satisfy the users, but also make people fans of their product. Any business, even if it is a very large scale, if your audience is not really a big fan of your product, if they use it because they don't have any other option really, then it's not sustainable, and it's definitely not a long-term strategy on how to retain users and grow the company and the business. So the expectations are different. And the era where we live in, we like to call it, at least within Skype, an intent-driven engagement era. There's still businesses out there that are actually using traditional funnels and traditional sales processes to engage with users. They go with acquisition, retain users, more generic messages, trying to do some customization, some targeting, and in most cases, the conversions that they see is pretty low. And in worst case, what they see is noise. What users see is noise. So who actually gets value out of that? Nobody. In the intent-driven engagement era, we believe that technology will actually observe and track many different triggers of user behavior. That could be the user behavior, what are the preferences, what are the actions that the user is taking, not only in one channel, but in multiple channels. And based on that, it can create assumptions and can create scenarios, and it can understand, in some cases, even before the user understands what the user is about to do. And it will be able to do that, not only in one channel, but everywhere, anywhere that the user is. So reach the user within the context. We firmly believe that a modern conversation-centric approach will be the way to get to consumer needs, will be the way to get people happy and satisfied. At the cornerstone of the new conversation-centric approach, we see two things. On the one hand side, it is the conversation itself, and on the other one is the intelligence that actually makes the conversation more valuable. So I will not go through every single one of those points, but I want to call out a few. On the conversation itself, any business can engage directly with a customer. The business will be able to engage with the customer in the context where the customer is. So what does this mean? Is that more relevant? Is that for the customer, they don't need to leave where they are to find the answer? And it's for the business, instead of trying without knowing blindly to contact different customers, they can actually reach the customer at the right moment, at the right time, in the right platform. So no more communications being lost in spam mailboxes and in conversation platforms that the customer is no longer active. In addition to that, where we see conversation being amazing as a means of communication for the user, is that it creates a feeling of closeness. It creates a feeling of togetherness. It creates a feeling that the user is actually closer to the business. The user is well understood. The user is well heard. And all the positive feelings that we know that are at the center of creating happy users and creating loyal users. Now, on the intelligence front, the biggest shift that we will see, and we're seeing it already, is the democratization of customer services. And this is achieved because intelligence is no longer that complicated for the end user, is no longer that scary. The logic and the science behind it is complicated, but in order for anybody to create a bot, to create an automated workflow in a conversational way, it is actually pretty easy. The corner store, the cupcake around the corner could actually create one. So suddenly, any business, including the small businesses, without even having to invest a lot, they will be able to create a superior user experience using this technology. Intelligence will also help businesses to understand what the user is about to do. What is their intent? And what is their next action? And by being able to predict what the user is about to do, you can definitely serve the user much better. And the business would also be able to understand what are the workflows and what are the scenarios that users need the most and automate them. So suddenly you can actually scale the business much more by having automated flows using intelligence for X% of the conversations, and then in a smart way, having handoffs where you go from the bot to the actual person. So everybody is served, and then when it becomes more complicated or when the needs are more sensitive, you can actually go to the person. So all that is pretty cool, theoretically speaking, but I wanted to visualize some of those scenarios to give you a better grasp of what we're talking about and how feasible it is and how close we are to doing that. Using intelligence in a conversational canvas to actually create better onboarding experiences, grow the business, retain the customers, and expand, which is at the core of what customer satisfaction businesses want to do. So Here is an example. The scenario that we're looking at is, we'll use Skype as a company. I work at Skype, so we use Skype as a company. And Skype hired Contoso, who is, I guess the easiest way to describe it is it is an Optimizely competitor, right? So Skype hired Contoso to help them optimize their website, skype.com. That means analytics, A/B testing, and imagine Optimizely with a different name to make it easier. So in the first screen, what happens is that somebody in the company, let's say the VP of product, said, hey guys, we're going to use Contoso moving forward in order to optimize our website. He signs up, all the employees are signed up, but not all of them use it. You know, we get busy, so not all of them use it. So Contoso actually contacts Peter, in this case, in the first screen, and says, hey, you know, you haven't set up your profile yet, can I help you? So instead of the user having to think to go to set up the profile, instead of having to fill in those huge forms that don't mean much and nobody wants to do because it's just, no matter how pretty the form is, it's just not fun. Here, there is a conversational UI where the trigger is the bot. It encourages the user to go take the action. And then in order to fulfill the action, it's easier because the bot knows a lot already about Peter. You see, it knows that the bot knows Peter's email address. It knows his work for Skype. So as the profile is being set, everything is, the information that can be pre-filled is pre-filled. And Peter can go through it very, very fast. Once Peter adopts the Contoso product, then a few days later, bot pings him again and says, hey, you know, you're using Contoso quite a lot. You're using it for A/B testing. You're using it for metrics, but you haven't used it yet for A/B testing. So yet again, the user doesn't have to go and check what are the features that this product is offering to me. No, the bot knows what is actually good for this product. A/B testing is good. So the bot will recommend, hey, do you want to do an A/B test? Peter replies in conversational manner as if it's another person, as if you speak to a researcher in your team, and it's like, yeah, you know, I'll try to use it. And then you see the card. Then the bot changes the way that interacts. Instead of like having exact copy, it has cards. And then the card, again, it has the intelligence to pre-populate information. So the bot knows that the website is available in those 3 countries. So you just click on which country you want to start doing your A/B test. And the same goes on as you are setting your A/B test. It's just cards that are being displayed intelligently. So the user doesn't have to go and go through all the forms and all the flows and so many unnecessary steps that just take time. And nobody has time. Same way that nobody has money. Then Peter starts engaging with a bot. He runs A/B tests. But then he gets busy with other stuff. Let's say it's review period, so that he has to write peer reviews, et cetera, and doesn't have time to do real work. So the bot again comes and says, hey, you haven't run an A/B test in a while. Haven't done it. Do you want to do it? So there is the suggestion of taking the action. And in addition to that, there is also ease of use, because the bot will say, do you want to use any of the previous cohorts? Do you want me to set up the same test? Or the bot could say, or Peter could say, actually, it's not a good time for me to do it right now. I'm in a meeting. So the bot will say, OK, when can I ping you? Tonight? OK. Then the bot pings him tonight. So all that type of reminders, it creates ease. It creates peace of mind for the user that, you know, things are being taken care of, and creates a schedule without even the user needing to, the user being the customer in this case, having to think too much about it. Somebody's taking care of things. And then as the company, in our case Skype at Microsoft, is engaging with Contoso, the key people that actually control the budget get reports of how much the product is being used. So here on the expand slide, you see a report that shows important information about the usage of the product. That gives indication as to how valuable the product is for the company, how much the users engage. But it also gives information about actions that you have to take. So here it says, hey, the Skype Windows team is actually overspending. So they're either overzealous with A/B testing and metrics, or they're doing something wrong, but they're overspending. So there is a heads up well in advance. So the person responsible can go and increase the budget, or actually reallocate budget, resources, and make sure that every team's needs are actually being taken care of in a very proactive manner. And all that without the human doing anything is all the bot and the intelligence, the technology that powers it, that provides all this information to the users. And we're very happy at Microsoft with the progress that we have made in the AI front. So first of all, we are very proud of the bot framework that we have released about a year ago. It makes creation of bots extremely easy, even for people with very limited coding experience. It adds intelligence, and it actually works in every single platform. It's not just on Skype. You can actually use it on Slack, or you can use it elsewhere. Because we believe that this is the next way of people communicating, and it's the next way of people meeting their needs. So we want to make sure that this technology is available for everybody. We are also changing the way, we are actually investing a lot in assistance, because we think that the way that people communicate with their devices is about to change. If not, it changed already. I'm sure many of you here speak to your Alexa quite frequently. I'm sure you have your kids speaking to any device in the house, thinking that it's Alexa, right? Alexa, turn on the TV, and she can't. But this is the new way. And we believe in assistance, and we're double investing in Cortana. This is the assistant, the intelligent agent of Microsoft, as a new way for people to interact with their devices. And then lastly, we are making our cognitive services open to everybody. There is a lot of intelligence behind it. There's a lot of research on how you can actually process natural language, how you can do, you can have visual understanding of people, of objects. And we make that available for everybody. Every single app developer out there would be able to access these services and create intelligent experiences. With that, thank you.